Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly Unreal Engine live stream. I'm Dana Cowley, and here with me is Ryan Brooks, Ray Davis, and Chance Ivy.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today, I should say. We will get a little bit of news out of the way, jump into a community spotlight, and then Ryan is going to walk us through the Landscape Mountains demo that shipped with 4.4. So Gamescom, we just got back from Cologne, and it was an awesome show. We posted up a bunch of new interviews with Ninja Theory, Tequila Works, and some other folks on our YouTube channel. Jason, if you could cut over to that and somebody show us that playlist.
Well, so this is Chance's responsibility, but I'm going to do it for him.
Thank you, Ray.
Welcome for handling that. So you can check out, so some of the folks that we caught up with there. It was a really exciting week, and we also had an awesome visit with Jaeger up in Berlin, and you'll get to see the products of some of that soon. If you can now switch back over to that Berserkers news, yeah, cool. So Berserkers from Sheildbreak Studios, brand new game. They will be in our PAX booth next week in Seattle. Beer. That booth number is 7505. It's up in the 6th floor. So if you're going to be there, come by, check it out. We're going to have 2 versus 2 multiplayer. Also in our PAX booth, I don't know if we have a link up for them, but Sense of Peso, the VR game from Kite and Lightning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
More
they
VR
will be in our
stuff, yeah.
booth as well. Super excited.
I just want to call on Sheildbreak. Please tell me they have a crafting mini game where you actually craft your own brew and go through the whole process.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You have to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, you have to wait 2 weeks, and then you got a bottle, and then 2 weeks later you have a power-up in the game.
Microtransaction,
brew,
if it's,
Yeah, IAPs can spend the time.
Nice. Actually, on that note, you guys remember Mike Fricker. He's actually, I believe this weekend, he's building making his first wart, as it is. So.
Really?
Yes. We'll have to see how that goes.
We need to move him back up into our office so we can partake in that.
He's a pretty smart guy, so I think he'll be successful, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No doubt. Cool. So yeah, Sheildbreak, super excited to have these guys announce their game this week with us and then be able to show it hands-on for the first time in public next week. They've been working with Unreal Engine 4 for quite some time, just sort of flying under the radar. Really awesome team, high pedigree, all around. So they're one to watch. Follow them at Shield_break on Twitter.
How extensive is the Twitch banning? Because I see they have a nice Conan quote in there as well. We're about to get infringement on.
Quick, close it.
Yeah.
Quick, shut her down. Oh wait, that's a quote too. Damn it.
No. Stop talking.
All right.
Okay, so
well, I should stop talking for
finishing
other
up our
reasons,
PAX
maybe.
news. So Sheildbreak will be there, Kite and Lightning. So we'll have it'll be the new DK2 build of Sense of Peso.
Yep.
The first time that's been seen publicly. We'll also have the Infinity Blade 3. They've got some new stuff coming. They'll announce that on Monday, I think. They'll be there, and we'll have a couple of demo stations set up for Unreal Engine 4. And last thing before we move off of PAX, if you can cut over and drag that, I want to show you, we made it a cool exclusive button. So this will be a small metal button exclusive to PAX that people can come by and pick up from us.
Cool.
And so that's the Infiltrator artwork, all stylized and cool looking.
So buttons at PAX are a thing now?
They're a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the small 1.5 inch button, round button.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
That you can cut back, Jason. That's good. Thank you.
Do you actually?
So it's the small 1.5 inch button that you can wear on your lanyard or whatever.
Yeah.
We've ordered a bunch of new merch. I've also got some cool temporary tattoos, the same type artwork with the little circle U. So we'll see how those turn out. It's a test.
You can just sneak those on people as they walk by.
Yeah. You've been branded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll be going to EGX in London. We've selected our indie teams to be on the pods. We are on the stands, the 8 indie pods. We're still confirming with folks who all can make it. So within the next, 3-4 days, we'll announce exactly who that will be, and we'll post it up on the blog. So
Cool.
That's events-related stuff.
Right
Community Spotlight.
Yeah, so let's break into the community spotlight. Great. So this one is community member Kula, or Kulalala if you're on YouTube, has been posting a lot of these interior lighting and shadow demos. They're really, really, really spectacular. I've seen them, just shared all kinds of throughout every forum I can find, like Reddit or just Twitter, everything, and it's just really, really spectacular work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're still getting feedback of people questioning this is actually real time, right?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, so we'll go through this one real quick.
Which is funny, is like if you told me I'd be impressed looking at a concrete room with a bunch of chairs in it, it'd be kind of hard to believe, but this is absolutely amazing.
It's stunning.
It kind of reminds me of that video, the 5th and 7th, that came out a few years ago that was actually pre-rendered. So the fact that this guy's able to get that simplistic, modern, contemporary
lighting,
style.
Yeah,
That's
he's actually
great.
even got, I think his computer specs here too, so you can see what,
It's
50, 60 on
reasonably
that.
spec too. That's a 670, right?
It's not bad at all. But yeah, it's just really, really stellar work. And this one came out a little bit, I think just 3 days ago, and it's already got 284,000 views on YouTube. But just excellent lighting work here.
Bokeh, depth of field. What other cool rendering features are we seeing, Ryan? You're the expert.
I mean, it's just a really good use of clean materials and roughness variation to drive the look of the specular rather than relying on heavy use of specular textures. It looks like he's just really leveraging the physically based rendering system.
Yeah.
And then he's also, I read some of his posts, he's doing a lot of things like bouncing direct sunlight off of cards outside of windows to give a really soft light coming in the window. And of course, jacking up the quality setting as high as it'll go, and just to get those really soft penumbras. And so it's just some really solid use of some simple techniques just taken really far with the lighting and composition.
Yeah, and working on some outside stuff too. These are kind of trickling in. So really cool shadows and things that are being posted to the forums.
Yeah, and speed tree examples he's got going on too that also use a pretty stunning use of light and materials.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, there's a nice comment. These fly-throughs are insane. They are indeed insane. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. All right, this one is a little top-down game called, I think, what is it, End of Transmission? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got some interesting features to it here. I liked.
Is that UMG they're using?
I'm not entirely sure.
Maybe it's.
Let's see what we got.
There's no way to know.
Yeah, we can't read and find out.
I think the guy who did the previous one did some UMG experiments as well.
Yeah, did you guys? There was an awesome server browser. The Gundorf guys posted.
That one looked really cool. What I like about this is he's got these little UI elements on top of his guys. You know, it's click to move. He's got really cool little, over here it looks like first-person views of each of his little pawns.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see what they see as they move, which
That's
is really
very cool,
nice. Yeah, I like it.
Fun.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
I love
yeah.
these kind of games, right? Little arcadey shooters. Super fun.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if this is Blueprint or C++ out of
I
curiosity?
believe he said he's working on it in Blueprints.
Nope, C++. Oh, no.
Lack of C++.
C++.
Shoot a strategy element.
Being written in C++.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, he originally started his own, in his own graphics engine.
In his own engine, yeah, I got it.
Interesting. Cool.
2 days of playing, I dropped the engine and moved over. That's awesome. Yeah, so that looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then
All
we've
right, what do we
got
got next?
Yeah, this is, I think it's Anti-Damage, Justin Cook. He's been working on this for a little while now. It's just cell shader work inside the engine.
Oh,
He's
that's
got
cool, yeah.
a little bit longer of a video. We can hop through and take a look at some of the things he's doing.
So like a little crosshatch in the shadowing there?
Yeah. I really liked it. It looks, I think he mentioned in the forums that this was kind of not a mistake, but it's not the effect he wanted, but it still looks incredible, is when he puts the mesh underwater over here.
Oh, yeah.
The filter effect it gives on it is really, really, really cool. He's got a couple weapons right here. It gets kind of in close.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, really good looking stuff. I think he first posted this back in May, and so this video showed up, I believe, yesterday.
Cool.
Let's see it right up here. Let's hop to that.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
So you can see, yeah, really, 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 really neat effect.
This was an accident, you're saying?
I believe that's what he said. It may have gone
swim.
from that.
You know, happy accidents. Let's get a little Bob Ross in here.
Yeah, I like the cell-shaded shadows in the rock crevices. Those look great.
Yeah, it looks really good.
That's a beautiful environment, yeah.
It sure is. So yeah,
Oh, nice.
really cool stuff. I'm anxious to see what he ends up doing with it all.
Yeah, I'd love to see some gameplay in there.
Yeah. And then this one was a video from a guy, Jack Carver.
Oh, this just came in, didn't it?
Yeah, out of Austin. Apparently he built this in a weekend. So I have it open in...
Wait, you're from Austin. Do you know Jack Carver?
I don't. He was a
How
certain
do you not
affinity.
know everybody in Austin? I don't
There's
understand.
a lot of people there, man. So yeah, this was apparently built in a weekend.
Wow.
With some really, really impressive, environment features.
Great.
Like the rain and light. I love this.
Let me guess, he's a Blade Runner fan. No.
Wow.
Yeah, this looks really good.
People are just doing ridiculous stuff
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
And he did all the lighting, let's see, scene composition, effects, and procedural lighting and thunder, so
Cool.
it's all
Yeah.
all him. Looks really good.
Good lightning effect for sure.
Yeah.
So it says from IA3D Tutorials, is he actually planning on creating tutorials around how he built this content, or do we know yet?
I don't know, but we should totally hit him up to do that.
Yeah,
So
that
maybe-
seems
yeah.
useful. I would like to know how to make that.
Yeah, totally.
It probably involves having some art talent, though. So I may be out of luck.
Or talent at all.
So
Yeah.
painful.
Right.
I thought we were friends.
I did too. All right, cool.
All right, community
That's what we
spotlight.
got.
So one other news before we let Ryan do his awesome thing. So we're actually working on a hot fix that should go into preview
Oh,
today or tomorrow. So expect to see that. And then, yeah, other than that, I
And
think
there is
release
an
gonna be
Oculus
quiet.
update included with that.
Right.
That's important because we had a question.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think we've finally got everything all sorted out with Oculus and the
Yeah.
SDK. No more surprises. You know,
Right.
hopefully from here on out, it always just works out of the box. Cool. Yeah, should we just hand it over to
Cool.
Ryan then?
Yeah.
So Ryan's
do
going
it.
to take us through. Sorry, Danny, you were going to say? Landscape. This is the content that Shipper 4.4 is kind of showing some of the larger environments.
Yeah, so this is our landscape demo map that we kind of put together just to show off some of the things that you can accomplish with landscape and materials and things like that, and as well as kind of a little mini game with the flyer. So go ahead and do a quick little fly through.
Yeah, well, the hope is like it's cool to have an environment, but it's also nice to have something to do to help drag you around.
So this guy actually has some simple WASD steering where it's kind of got the pilot controls where down and upper are inverted for flight. And there's kind of a little mini semblance of a mini game here with little rings that you can fly through to get a speed boost. Although I'm honestly not very great at it. There we go.
Got it.
Get a little
Pull
boost.
out, pull out. What's the Top Gun quote?
Maverick. That one?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Or stay on target.
Are we banned yet?
I don't
I
know.
want to get Twitch.
I feel like every Twitch stream is probably trying to get banned at this point.
Oh.
That
All
was
right,
some
gonna have to
hardcore
restart
warrior,
it.
man.
I remember the first time I loaded this up, I had just a blast doing this.
Yeah. No, this is ripe for some cool
Yeah.
game jumping off points here.
Absolutely.
Although needs more snow and needs more snowboarders. No. I'm just too sad right now.
We do need a snowboarding game, don't we?
We
I don't think we've
do.
done that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you could totally make freaking awesome SSX style game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Or 1080 if that was your thing, you know.
Yeah, someone was even mentioning that somebody should turn this into Pilot Wings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
please do.
Pilot Wings is kind of cool.
Oh, I
You know,
loved Pilot
if
Wings.
you had nothing else to play at the time. Wait, you're not gonna go for my troll bait?
You're the
oh, it's
sayer
like the whole
you're
reason I'm here.
The sayer of nays.
Whoa, that is a heck of a speed boost.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's using physics, like wind,
Science.
lift, right?
Yeah, we got some science in our engine here.
You know what that is?
So, do you actually know what the actual dimensions of this is?
The actual dimensions, actually, I do not know that.
Big.
I only worked on this for about 2
5
days, doing some
kilometers or
polish on the
something?
materials.
Yeah.
just
Long
to
by
clarify.
wide?
It's 5 by 5 kilometers.
Bunch of
Okay,
experts here.
excellent. Yeah, it's pretty big.
So,
So,
Huge.
actually generating this landscape, this wasn't all done by manual process, was it?
so this is actually a World Machine processed height map.
Ah,
So
cool.
we took it into World Machine for an erosion pass. And the erosion pass is kind of what gives you these little snow
Yeah.
drifts and veins coming down mountainsides. Sorry, I'm trying to cancel this autosave. And so we actually export out the erosion texture from World Machine, and we're using that as the snow alpha. And actually, I do have a couple questions here about the landscape, so I guess I might as well just go ahead and mention them here.
Yeah, and we had a question here about, is 5 kilometers the current maximum? I don't believe so. I want to say it's even higher than that.
It's I'm
Wait.
not sure off the top of my head.
I mean, I think technically there's not a hard maximum.
Yeah,
or we
because
might
the scale's relative. You could make
Yeah.
it smaller if you really needed to.
Yeah, and using the world browser stuff, we actually have, we can repivot the origin so that you maintain, accuracy for physics simulation and gameplay for single player experiences. And then moving forward, we have some ideas of increasing precision so you can have multiplayer, GTA style experiences. The cool thing is I actually went and talked to James Golding to see how big Skyrim is. And they do a surprisingly good job of, it's really not that big of an environment. I think it's like around the 5 kilometer size.
Yeah.
But it feels really
Yeah, it feels
expansive when you're in it,
massive,
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of the questions I have here is with the world machine workflow, what is it like working with tiles, and do you have optimal size and settings? So I've done a little bit of experimentation with the tiles when I was just trying to see how big of an area I could export, and it worked pretty well. But for most of the demos I've done, I've actually just ended up going with the higher resolution single map rendered out of World Machine, and we've gone as high as 8192. But usually about the size we end up on a shipping one is about 4096. Just it seems like it's more in the sweet spot of quality and performance. But haven't really pushed the tiled in like a complete shipped example yet. So the other question here is having trouble understanding landscape materials in UE4. So there's actually a few different ways of approaching those. And the one that's used here is actually a little bit more custom, where we're using the landscape alpha in the material and then basically manually blending all the various elements, such as the normal map and the diffuse, etc. There are simpler ways where we have some tutorials on the UDN about just basically using complete layers, and that's basically it's called material attributes, where you have your diffuse and your roughness and your normal all packed into one output pin. So there are some pretty clean examples of landscape materials.
So what's the use cases for the different, like why did we choose to go with this approach on landscape?
On this particular one, it was more of a legacy reason, to be honest, because we kind of used content that was made for the Elemental demo.
Right.
And that was just before we had the whole material attribute system and really started making functions for blending entire layers instead of blending each piece kind of piecemeal.
Material,
Yeah, so this one I'm hesitant to bring up the material because it looks kind of like a beast. It's a little bit messy.
Let's bring it up. It'll be fun. Not the recommended way to do it, or not the simplest way you can do it.
For what you wish for.
All right, so this is the material instance, which obviously is just something we create that makes it quicker to tweak little settings like the tiling of the various elements.
Well, and you don't have to do a full recompile of the material to tweak those settings, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So just little things.
Oh yeah, they can't see that.
Yeah,
you
you're
have to drag it back.
Yeah, I was just going to get into the big material here.
Sorry, you probably knew that.
Hey Ryan, that's how you use the material editor.
Welcome.
So this guy looks kind of like a beast.
Oh yeah.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, it's still fairly clean.
So you see basically each one of these is kind of like a layer. So here's our rock layer, and specifying a bunch of things like which textures, the normal map, the tiling settings, they all go into one big function. And this is just a function that was created for that Elemental demo, and it just kind of stuck around.
Right.
And you'll see there we have the grass layer, and then finally the snow layer.
Right, and then this is all blended based on the actual Z value for any given pixel.
Yeah, so these are actually just the actual layers. There's no blending occurring here.
Right.
But then within these, this is a two-layer blend function that actually takes in a top diffuse and then a normal and everything, and then it blends them all based on some settings. Like you see here, there's some settings for world-aligned blend and modulation and things like that. So if we go down to the snow, you'll see we have these settings hooked in for world modulation min and max, and that's what makes the snow kind of biased onto the top normals. And you'll see here, where have we got the layers? Okay, so you see here, this is what I was talking about earlier, where we're manually blending using the landscape layer. We have a layer here, Grass 01, and the fact that this named here, Grass 01, is named this, is what causes it to show up in the landscape tool when you're looking at it. So when you go paint, so the fact that we see Grass 01, that's actually doesn't show up until you put this here. And you see we kind of cheated this by putting 0 as the base and 1 as the layer. So that's just basically recreating a black and white texture that we can use to blend manually in the landscape layer. Whereas a simpler way you might see this done now is to have a whole layer contained in one function, and the whole layer could go here, plugged in here, and then the top layer could be plugged in here. So this one is just kind of doing everything manually, where you see here there's a snow alpha, and then it's feeding that alpha in here to blend. So it looks a little bit convoluted, but it's actually not too bad once you sort of break it down one layer at a time.
I gotta say, I definitely understand why we got this question now. This is not a beginner level jump in there and make something simple.
It actually was proposed that we should redo this entire material from scratch for this, but it was one of those things there just wasn't time to redo it and have it look as good.
Gotcha.
But we will probably be doing more simpler demos in the future. So there's one more question about World Machine is great to post-process terrain, erode and make textures and stuff, but how do you find it creating terrain from scratch to create a playable map using World Machine all the way, or create a playable loop, etc.? So there's a bunch of different options there, and so World Machine actually has the ability to import height data too, so one of the things we've done in the past is sculpt out the very rough basics of the terrain in the landscape tool in the engine. Use that to export out a height map into World Machine, and then you can you sort of polish it up and keep it from there.
Erosion maps
Yeah.
and stuff like that, yeah.
And one of the other really powerful things in World Machine that helps with this is the layout map tool. And you basically can hand draw shapes and alphas, and you could basically tell it to preserve a certain area and keep it from having as much erosion, and keep it as it was. Or I've even resorted to doing manual Photoshop layers where I sort of keep a layer alpha. Like these are the areas that are the gameplay traveled paths, and the rest is just kind of Vista background, and you don't really care if it gets demolished through your ZBrush pass and stuff,
Cool.
or a World Machine pass. Was
Yeah.
there anything else real major? I wasn't able to kind of follow the conversation while I was.
No, I mean,
going through this stuff.
the comment there, +1 for simpler demos. Yeah, I think we definitely want the full spectrum there, and with something like this, we're starting with the high end to show you really like what's capable, but maybe something more like a content example, or to complement this, to show people sort of the, steps 1 through 10, and not necessarily jump in at step, 500.
Trying to see in here the stripe setting.
'Cause how many? There's a
Yeah,
lot
there's
of
a lot
parameters
there's
on
a lot
this.
of parameters. I was
Yeah.
looking for one that I'm not seeing.
Oh,
You know what? It's not a big deal.
cool.
All right. I
Awesome.
guess if is there any other questions you guys?
I don't know,
picked
yeah,
up?
you guys
I
have
got,
any?
I got one out of the chat stream here. Like, will the 16 texture sampler limit be increased?
That is not something I am sure about.
Yeah.
That'd be
Not
more of a question
sure.
for Jack Porter.
Yeah,
Um,
one of
Gotcha.
the engineers to see. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
you can take a lot of those questions to the forums too. We can get the right
Yeah.
set of eyes on them that way.
Anything we can't answer here, we'll go back to the forums and try to get. And then let's see, I had another one
and
here.
Mizuga, I just saw, had a question about so World Machine was used to just make it more beautiful, and you can do similar things with the landscape
Yeah.
tool. That's actually exactly true. In fact, the landscape tool in UE4 actually has some erosion tools. If you go
Yeah.
over here,
Oh, yeah.
man, let me make this a little bigger. So we can select the different brushes over here. Here we go. So there is an erosion tool, so we could do a little bit of so you can sort of hydraulically erode, and what this will do is kind of tend to make things into tapered slopes, and you can kind of carve some nice sculpted things.
Yeah.
So, but what we don't have in the landscape tool right now is kind of an iterative process that processes the entire landscape all at once. I mean, you could sit here and paint over the whole thing with this and sort of beautify each area, but there's also some value in just doing like iterating water on the entire thing all at once, just
Yeah.
to do that little detail. And,
Yeah.
and that's something that we're definitely looking at. In fact, I did a prototype doing it in blueprints, and it worked. It's just really, really slow. So
Well, that's
there-
the first step, though, right?
yeah, exactly. So we actively want to do that, and in fact, it's actually based off of the same white paper that this brush here uses. We just don't have it integrated. So,
So
soon.
Does that crease come from the fact that you
Oh,
just
yeah.
edited a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I broke the lighting by doing stuff.
So we
and
just need to do a rebuild.
it doesn't always break the lighting perfectly. I think it's created like an ambient occlusion shadow or
Gotcha.
something. But yeah, that's purely from editing.
Okay.
So shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, and let's not rebuild live.
Could you add a
Why?
soft height painting tool like we have in the old terrain system? There should be one like that. I mean, if you don't use just the standard, the brush
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
still be there.
I think most of the tools are very similar, but then extended, right?
Yeah.
Than the last one.
It would be awesome if we could expose these brushes to blueprints, so you could create your own custom.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
expand it
Yeah,
out, right?
really.
That's something we started having conversation with the guys who are working on this. It's just hasn't got scheduled yet. So if
Yeah.
that's something you guys value, definitely hit it up on the next
Yeah.
one of those polls, or even suggest it, because sometimes we don't even get the right things on the polls because there's so many things that's
Yeah.
pulling us in so many different directions that if there's something like this that you feel is important, make sure that you just mention it in the post, and we'll try to get it on there.
Cool. Awesome. Were there any other big questions?
Can you export a height map out of the engine? For example, a terrain created with landscape. Can you put that into a separate
Yep.
program?
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we did here.
Should
It's,
be able
it's actually been the guys here have kind of
answered it for
that.
him?
Yeah. that-
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Although in the
Making
past,
sure we
I've
got it all.
taken top-down screenshots to get around that, which is kind of funny. But
I've actually done the same thing.
it's tricky to normalize and things like that. But
Yeah.
all right.
Cool. Yeah, the other thing this reminded me of, and we probably should have done for the community spotlight, was the desert scene in, was it 4 hours or something like that? He
Oh, the
spent?
time-lapse
Yeah,
video.
that
Yeah,
was
that
super
was
impressive.
great.
Did you
I
see
didn't
that,
even
Ryan?
see that
No,
till
I don't
today.
think so.
Oh, Stu H. I don't remember his last name
Stu
exactly.
Heckenberg.
Heckenberg,
Yeah. Here,
grab
I'll pull it
Go
up
for it.
real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll cut over to it.
Cool.
You guys got to see this. Keep
yeah,
talking.
it was it was really impressive. He just did a time lapse of him building like a desert environment and carving out the landscape, and
it's just really great.
It really. Oh, people are going to see you Google in real time.
Well,
no,
I know that Develop posted it. Sorry.
Just click I have my feeling.
Is it possible? Do we have random terrain generation yet? Doesn't.
I don't believe we have completely random generation, but that's another thing that I did in Blueprints. It's with a diamond square algorithm, so we're just missing the link to be able to interface data from Blueprints into the landscape system.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple fun algorithms there. Obviously Perlin noise, and then the diamond square algorithm is a little bit more. It looks a little bit less like standard noise, and you can kind of mix the two. And then with an erosion pass, it kind of
get it back to organic and
yeah.
I'm curious with.
Here it is.
Oh, we were going to cut back over there.
I'll make sure that the volume's like down on this, just in case.
Can you modify the terrain at runtime? I don't believe we can do that currently.
Yeah, well, especially like real-time lighting rebuilds or something.
Right. Yeah. That would be
Well, I mean, you don't have to have lighting rebuilds for terrain. You can choose to dynamically light the whole thing.
Okay.
If you just went with a dynamic light, so.
Yeah. I think here he's soon to demonstrate the duplicate static mesh, rotate scale, staple of level design.
Oh yes.
Cool.
So then, I'll
if you skip ahead.
a little
Cool.
bit.
So it's the time-lapse
Wow.
construction. I thought you guys meant time-lapse is in like
Yeah, so this is all like 4
real time.
hours in time lapse, and it's just like boom.
Yep, I remember
Yeah.
these good old days working on race levels.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the first games I started making the levels for back in the day was Monster Truck Madness 2.
Awesome.
I remember
Really?
that. That was a lot of fun. It was basically each you had 64 by 64 terrain grid,
Oof.
and you put one texture on each thing. And if you wanted to have a big road turn, you had to have a big 4x4 grid of all these little turn textures. People made scripts to cut them up. And
Wow.
this looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
Rage-like at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got a little
it
vibe
is.
there. Huh?
That's the awesome thing about when people kind of mission match meshes. Like it'll go from looking like nothing to totally awesome really
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
how many unique assets are really in that scene? I mean, aside from the landscape itself.
It doesn't look like a ton, but we skipped through it a little bit, but he looks like he's getting excellent mileage out of assets, which
Oh,
Yeah.
that's always the way to go when you can get away with it.
You've got a Monster Truck Madness fan, apparently.
Oh wow, excellent! Yeah, I was a level designer spider when I was like a kid, so
Literally
some of those
a kid.
maps are still around there.
Literally,
Cool.
how old
That's
were you when that was happening?
Oh man, 12 or 13, 14.
Literally a kid. That's crazy.
15.
awesome.
No, probably 14 or 15.
Like so many people here at Epic who like started modding when they were teens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, soon Chance will be 21 and can have his first beer.
I'll almost be there. Right.
The Sidewinder, yep.
Yeah.
That was fun. Although it was better for Motocross Madness, but it was still pretty good.
Ah, yes.
Oh, I remember the Sidewinder.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thanks for
All
the
right.
demo.
Yeah.
all
We
right, so-
appreciate it.
It was good talking to you guys, and
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna.
We're
Wrap
gonna
it
let
on
Ryan
out.
get back to work.
All right.
He's got stuff to do
Allow
on
him to
Fortnite.
get-
Take it easy, guys.
This little tiny project. So we're gonna take a 10-second break, and then we'll come back and we'll have all the lower thirds fixed, and we'll
All
be
the good stuff.
cozier.
While we were gone, we had a lively discussion about the size of Chance's head.
It's gigantic.
Yeah, so I put it out there to our Twitch viewers. If you can guess the size of his head in inches, we'll find some
Guess
sort
we'll
of
send you
prize.
something.
Jonathan Price, if you're on this, you probably know, so don't.
Apparently, it's a thing to compete with your friends
Yeah.
on the size of your head. Did
Did
you
you ever
know
see
that?
My Stepmother's an Alien? She's got to go home and cry on his huge pillow.
No.
Somebody will get that.
But I do have huge pillows. So. They're real. They're
All right, so we're going different direction with this stream today.
Okay. We're going to talk about Marketplace,
Marketplace. Oh, okay.
dun, dun,
right?
Yeah, all right, let's talk about
Let's talk
Marketplace.
about
then.
It's all
Marketplace.
hair.
We have a Trello
37
board.
inches. Wow, I would be
That's-
insulted now.
Nah,
It's not that big.
That's pretty
We have
big.
the chat screen going on one.
Yeah, sorry, that's why we're awkwardly looking to the side.
46
Yeah.
inches.
Over 9,000 is pretty good. We've actually got a couple that are pretty close.
All right, well, let's not give them too many hints.
Yeah.
All right, so Marketplace, as you guys saw, last week we finally rolled out submission guidelines. We've got the Trello board up here. If you want to switch to that, Jason. So the whole idea here is we want to make sure that everything that actually shows up in the Marketplace is going to be of value to developers and something that they want, right? And that was where the idea of leveraging the community and getting the votes to help us with the selection process. So as of today, we went ahead and updated with everything we currently have in the queue. I think there's quite a few submissions that you guys are working in right now. Do you want to talk about our process right now? Is it like every
Yeah.
week you guys are getting better?
Yeah, so a couple of the guys here, Deacon Warren and myself, sit down every Monday or Tuesday and go through everything that's come in throughout the week. It's usually a little bit of a process. We discuss specific things.
Yeah.
Mostly it's guidelines. If everything meets what the submission guidelines say, we kind of talk about the work, see kind of how it is for the portfolio fit, and then we turn it over to others to vet from there. And so.
I mean, generally at that stage, that first initial thing, the only thing we're really looking for is enough screenshots and other data description to make sure somebody can reasonably determine, like, yeah, this seems like a good value or a good amount of stuff in it.
Right, and that's been the biggest thing so far is just if we have to kick stuff packages, we need more information, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple more screens of what you got there. But we've seen a lot of really, really cool stuff come through, and you probably see it in the Trello here, which is available. You can find the link on our website, but. Yeah, we're updating it very, very, very quickly. I can't quite keep up with everything that's on there all the time. It's great.
Yeah. And then, so we'll continue to push stuff to the community board. And then part of our weekly process right now is to go through, pick the ones that are rising to the top, and then kind of dig in a little further and get them ready for actual availability on the marketplace. We're not that far from actually launching the marketplace itself. I think we've got an internal version working on staging. Right now we're going through the QA process, making sure all the purchase flows and the downloads and all that good stuff not only just works, but it's actually a good experience. As you guys have seen, we've been experimenting with things in the launcher with the library and the vault and how you manage your content and projects and all that. We still have a lot of ideas and all the things we want to get to over time, but at least when we get this first version out there, it should be a good experience for you guys. And then a couple of things have come up. We've had a lot of great feedback, some great discussions in the forums. Really appreciate you guys being honest, sometimes brutally honest, but that's good. We want to hear it. We're trying to be pretty upfront that this is somewhat of a new process, and we want to be transparent about what we're doing and why we're doing it. Like I said, the biggest thing we want to do is make sure that everything in that marketplace is of value, and so that's why some of the guidelines may seem a little restrictive or a little challenging. I think the one that we got a lot of feedback on was skeletal meshes, right? And having any bipedal creatures coming or characters coming through, having those fit to our skeleton.
Epic skeleton, yeah.
Long term, we're working on animation retargeting. We want to have a good automated system so we don't have this requirement. But that realistically is probably, several months off. And there's degrees of functionality there, right? So we should have some earlier functionality there sooner. But in the meantime, we want to make sure that, every character you buy that is reasonably, looks like a humanoid, has 2 legs and walks, and every set of animation, that you have a good experience of being able to combine those things, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's nothing worse than buying some assets on a marketplace, really loving it, but then not having what you need, right? And having no way to get those.
Totally. We want Marketplace to be a place that you can go find things and then drop them in your game and get to work, start making really awesome stuff as soon as possible. And so any pain points in between you purchasing something and then you getting it working, we want to try to, alleviate any of that. And that's why we have a lot of these safeguards in place.
Yeah. And to make the skeleton one a little easier in particular, Jeremy Ernst, I don't even know his title, Senior Animation God at Epic, I guess.
Senior Technical Rigger and Animator, I believe.
Yeah.
He's actually put together a couple of FBXs that we're going to make available on forums and through the website. That way you guys can just easily test, does my stuff work with this? If so, you're good to go. And we'll have some great documentation too of just exactly how that works. So, but yeah. I guess, is there any other questions here? Well, we had some more questions on Marketplace, right? Oh, about why we have a requirement of 5 pieces to a pack. I would say that's a strong guideline, not a rule. Like, there's going to be some cases where it feels like a pack has enough useful content that we're comfortable with. But that's really the intent, is we don't want the one-offs that are cool by themselves, but not enough to actually make a decent prototype or a decent game with, right? And that's where we're saying, rule of thumb, let's start with 5, see how that feels like. With an environment set, it's clearly going to be more than 5 pieces.
Right.
Unless your environment set is my bathroom or something, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want there to be just enough diverse in a pack for somebody to pull it down and have a bunch of options to work with. Mm-hmm. And like you said, guideline as opposed to rule. And I think you even mentioned this in the forums that there will be cases where that it's less than 5 and it'll be okay depending on the actual use.
Yeah, I think you'll see here some of the military characters actually. Yeah. There's a male, female per pack, right? So yeah. Guideline, not a rule. At the end of the day, you guys, if you submit something awesome and it's clearly going to be of high value to people, we'll get it through the pipe, right?
Yeah.
It's not our goal to just arbitrarily turn anything away, right? We only do it because we want to maintain that high quality, without being too extreme, right?
Right.
Let's see, what other questions do we have? As far as support, well, two things. We want to make sure the content continues to work with new versions of the engine, with art assets like textures and meshes and all that good stuff. That should just work. I can't remember the last time we actually broke compatibility with that stuff with the Unreal Engine. Even going back to UE3.
Yeah, I can't.
It just generally works in that regard. The stuff that is going to be a little trickier is like blueprints. We're still evolving some of the APIs, especially on the gameplay framework level. And when we do have C++ plugin support widely available, that'll be another challenging one. We definitely, we're still brainstorming and iterating. I posted some thoughts there on how the plugin, like a nice automated pipeline for making sure that stuff stays up to date and is not too much burden for developers. We want to definitely, as much as we can, compile stuff against the new versions of the engine internally, do some automated testing for you guys. So in most cases, if nothing's dramatically changed, you should be able to just, yep, this is working, quick test, click it, and now it's available. The flip side is we definitely don't want to be in that situation where plugins, hey, I love this plugin, it's the feature I've been looking for my game. Oh God, the new version of the engine has some feature I absolutely need for this to ship my game, it's successful, but the plugin's now out of date, right? And I'm stuck in this between two places, right?
Yeah.
We always want people to be on the latest version of the engine as much as it makes sense, right? Because that's where the cool stuff will be. And we're definitely going to push plugins to be in that same spot.
Yeah, we're not pushing quality deprecations into the newest versions of the engine. It's only going to get better one over the other. Yeah. So unless you have specific reasons to use older versions, the newest version is always going to be the best version. And we want to make sure that somebody new shows up, wants to download and play with the engine, they can access your stuff and use it inside their projects as well.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're still a bit ways off on actual C++ plugins in the marketplace. In the meantime, there's a few people we've been working with, like Speed Tree and Substance will be coming along. No, that is available, right?
Substance?
Soon, if not.
They had released sort of an early, but it's
okay.
they're working to release a more polished, as well as sample scenes on the marketplace.
Yeah, so I would say for some of the larger plugins that you guys are super interested in, let us know in the forums or contact us, email Chance, let them know. And then we can, we always have the ability to manually get things available even before the marketplace is supporting it. So
totally.
Cool. There's another question of should price be on the marketplace Trello? Chance, what do you think?
Yeah, so this is something we've been talking about internally too, and even on the forums. And really the Trello isn't necessarily about advertising something as is, as it will be in its final form. It's more, would you be interested in having this on the marketplace or not? Whereas, would you rather have this on the marketplace at $5, $10, $20, whatever that looks like, right? So we've been kind of trying to keep it off of there and keep it judged on the actual content itself, not putting it in context with everything else. Yeah. Your vote on the Trello doesn't mean it's not like I am buying this, right? Yeah. I would love to see this. This is something that I would be interested in seeing on the Unreal Engine marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to me it seems kind of like price would be a great discussion for the forums.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what I'd pay for it, and here's why, and here's what I would want to see if I was going to pay this,
Definitely, and there's a level of value, right? Like, oh, I would pay this for that, and so when you approach the Trello, don't think of it that way. Don't think of it as, oh, this is a great asset. I'd give $1 for it, or I'd give $5 for it. Think of it, this is a great asset. I would like to see it available.
Yeah, exactly. And over time we'll have commenting and when things actually are available on the marketplace, there's a contact information for those developers. So there's still that opportunity if you do feel like something is like, hey, this price, I love your content, but the price isn't right. You'll have a mean to let the developer know so that they can take that into account and
Yeah, and at the same time, there's a lot of you guys are talking about things y'all are going to be putting on the marketplace too, right? In the forums, y'all are getting ready to do some submissions. Mm-hmm. So that means a lot of these content creators that have their stuff that's available for you to vote on are probably directly accessible to you there as well. So you can start those conversations.
Yeah, cool. That was some of the pre-bake questions. I see there's some stuff going on here in the chat. Any highlights?
There was one thing I asked you about last week too. About there was a guy working on some 2D tools and wondering about competition with our tools as well too.
Totally.
We think that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, we definitely welcome that because, any feature or system we implement, what we prioritize and how we build it is not necessarily going to suit the needs of everybody out there. So yeah, I think you look at UI as a great example. Is Coherent Labs with their Radiant UI, they're definitely doing some awesome stuff. There's a lot of overlap with what we're doing with UMG, of course. They both create UIs.
Right.
But there's going to be some unique features and different trade-offs that developers. I'd much rather a developer have the option to choose the one that best fits their needs, right?
Absolutely. We can, Unreal Engine isn't just for making game type A or game type B or game type C, and each game has its own needs, right? So the more options that somebody has to use different tools, absolutely the better, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think it's great too. We would hate to be in the situation where, hey, we've got UMG, therefore there's no need for UI plugins.
Right, exactly.
And then UMG maybe needs some extra features to be awesome, but because there isn't competition, we're not necessarily seeing that feedback.
Yeah,
right?
we want you guys to have diverse games, right? We don't want you to all use everything to the boundaries in which it stands. This is one of the reasons that the source is available. So
yeah. So there was a question or a suggestion of having a marketplace forum. We do have a dedicated subforum to marketplace. It's under content creation, right?
Yeah, and yep.
So
there's a lot of good discussions there already. We've got a couple of rules about it on how to post requests or feedback on the stuff that's already there, any of our processes and stuff. A lot of you have been very vocal about that, which is great. We want that. Those are the things that we take that internally and have great discussions about them.
Yeah.
So please keep that up. It's been really, really good.
So I like this off-topic question because it's dear to my heart. Can we have Oculus support for streaming? I would love to get like a stereo camera in here so people could have like a cool VR experience.
Just sit down with us.
Yeah.
We could poke them in the eye, kind of.
It'd be a little creepy. It's like having ghosts in the room or something.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
Another point that was brought up was like, don't forget to remind people that Unreal is not just for games; it's for for film, for architecture, for everything, right? So, and everything in the asset store will, benefit everybody. We had someone ask, can you update or change or fix a marketplace listing? Of course you can. Yes.
Yeah, and exactly. If we get feedback that something's broken or functional, the first thing we'll do is make sure that nobody new is buying it, right? We'll take it off the listing. Of course, if you've already bought it, you will always have access to get those assets, right? And then we'll notify the developer and work with them to get everything reconciled as quick as possible.
Yep.
There's another question or another comment on my shirt. Like apparently I always wear this from the Twitch shirt. I actually own 7 shirts. This is my Thursday shirt for the record. Just kidding. No, I'm just not very fashionable. I apologize.
Need more programmer plaid.
More program. I'm not even a programmer anymore. But he's not even a programmer. Why is he wearing plaid? We should ban it.
Hey, all my stuff is still in storage.
Nice.
I just bought this shirt.
Yeah.
Chance is a coder. He gets to wear
I'm
programmer
still a
plaid.
coder.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
let's have a programming competition. I will destroy you.
I will happily. What's the context?
I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll destroy you.
All right.
It's on.
Great.
Next Twitch stream.
Heard it here first.
Wait, we're gonna be in PAX. Sorry.
Oh, you'll be
the
at
next
PAX.
next.
So you can be at PAX,
I will
and
still
I'll be
destroy
here.
you.
And no.
Still will destroy you. My programming skills, legendary.
Yeah, we'll see. About
Legendary. And that's why I'm still a programmer.
That's why you still wear plaid.
Yes. So I did see a question stream by about can we ship full games as editor only? I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that we try to do ourselves. I think it's a huge valuable resource to have a mostly completed project ready to go. So definitely would love to see those in the marketplace as well. Cool.
Yeah, King Badger wants me in a bear suit real bad.
This is getting this chat is getting a little R-rated here. Are you ready to ride with the console cowboys in cyberspace? Chance.
The console cowboys?
What are the console cowboys?
SF.
I don't
We all know
know.
what you're talking about.
Send me a message on that.
Yeah, we need more context on that one. All right, any more serious questions about Marketplace before we move on? No? All right, just to recap for people, soon, really, really soon. We're taking submissions now.
Yeah.
Would love, we're processing through submissions as we speak. So even if the marketplace isn't quite available yet, send us your stuff so we can have it first out there.
Yeah, we get plenty of stuff in every day. We're parsing through it, and getting it up to the Trello as quick as we can. And so keep it coming. We're seeing some awesome stuff. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, and also in the coming weeks, we're going to publish or talk more about our roadmap of features for the marketplace, because the first version we ship will be, honestly, fairly bare bones, the first set of content. But things like, content rating, developer ratings, commenting, all that good stuff, we'll be able to talk about when that's coming. And you guys hopefully tell us what will be more useful there. Was it? You said something?
Yeah, we had a question about, will sellers on the marketplace have access to analytics, see their balance? And so, yes,
So
absolutely.
over time, not a day one feature.
Yeah, not day one, but like
day
as
one
soon
we'll
as
have
we
a
can
bit
put
more
it-
manual process where we'll show, how many
You'll be able to
units
get all the
sold.
information.
Yeah,
It won't be like.
They'll be part of the
Yeah.
payout reports for distribution.
Yeah, and a big part of that too is like we're trying to build this out with you guys on y'all's feedback, right? So we don't want to build out a tool completely all the way to the end that doesn't service you guys well, and so that's why we're taking this in steps as opposed to just here is our thing.
Yeah. So sorry, I just want to clarify. Unreal Engine Marketplace games can be shipped ? Games as complete games with their content available. We're not like shipping games for folks.
We're
on
not
this.
Steam?
Yeah, we're not Steam on this, right? This is games as a a resource, as a project for people then to modify and build their own projects.
Yes,
on.
certainly like sample games, like
Yeah.
how we ship like
Yep.
vehicle
Exactly.
game and all that good stuff.
Cool.
Could totally
Yeah.
use more of that.
Cool. Another one. We got this feedback on the Unreal Engine Trello hasn't been updated in a while. We actually have just updated it 2 weeks ago. So our process on that is we do engine monthly planning, where we take a week and we just go through every aspect of the engine, from rendering to networking to even what Chance is going to do, right? And we come up with what the next 3 months and beyond looks like, and then the week after that we roll all those results out onto the Trello. So that is definitely updated at least once a month. And then as we, certain things call for it, people will update in between that. But yeah, cool. Any other question on that?
I saw a question about the hot fix, so I've just pulled up the
Oh,
private
it's
forum
actu-
thread,
Okay.
so I can read through the bullets of what. So that's either today or tomorrow, right? So the 4.4.1 hot fix, Unreal front end, we fixed a crash that could occur when you're cooking for the Mac on the fly. Oculus Rift support has been updated to use the Oculus 0.4.1 beta SDK. We fixed a crash that could occur when opening some animation assets from the marketplace. We fixed an error that was causing mouse handling to break on Mac. Blueprints, we added a redirect to base engine INI, which allows for existing content to point to the correct location in an enum. And then lastly, we fixed info.plist search order in UAT.
All right.
So
Yep.
you'll see more of that soon.
Yeah, so yeah, that should, once the hotfix is available, that post will be out live on the forums for you guys. There's a lot of awesome questions going by here. I'm going to pick my favorite. Ooh, brand new team of developers wanting to delve into the magic of game development. Where should they start and focus on?
Oh, goodness.
Man, that is a broad one. My personal style, I was a self-taught programmer, even though I will still destroy you. So that
I was self-taught
okay,
too, so
okay. Well,
yeah.
shit.
I'll program my left hand even.
Well, you got to use both hands for typing.
Some of us do.
Okay. I'm a hacker, right? I love to take something that works and break it apart. I even did this with like electronics as a kid, right? And not every time I put it back together it'd work. But the process of doing the same with like working content or code is just go in there, see how it's put, try changing some obvious things and start to get a feel of how everything actually flows together. We've got tons of like the video tutorials I know really are helpful from getting absolutely from scratch up to pretty far along the path. And then of course, the documentation, docs.unrealengine.com, a lot of great stuff from the community on the wiki as well. Start with something. Starting from blank can be a little intimidating. You sometimes don't even know which direction to go.
Every time, like when I've tried to learn a new SDK or when I was younger, if you start from scratch to learn concepts, but start from something that exists to kind of learn structure and what a final project looks like, and then you can slowly work from one side or the other to kind of meet yourself in the middle, right? And so it kind of an indie discipline, right? It's about finding your way around, finding out, like what Ray said, what you can change to get little results, and then you just the quick trial and error loop of oh, this does that, oh, this does that, or this does that. I accomplish this like by this way or that way.
Yeah, I would say I still to this day use the same process when we ship like UMG. Is like first thing I do, okay, build something, build it probably in the worst way imaginable, but you learn. Okay, throw that all out, try to do the exact same thing, but now with intent and understand what I'm doing. Okay, good. And you start you build that solid core of understanding, and then you kind of branch out, right? Careful about. I'm not even going to repeat that comment. Okay. Tutorial Tuesday.
Don't read all
that's
the
a great
comments
idea.
aloud.
So he says you should have a Tutorial Tuesday. Everybody
It's a good
Epic makes
idea.
a new tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this. We love the idea of taking everybody, giving them time to focus on one specific thing. Last week we had Mike talking about the usability bug bash that we recently did, which was awesome. I think of these 700 issues, at least 400 of them, got into our bug database. Awesome. Then we also have the Epic Friday projects, but maybe we need an Epic tutorial day.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to do, like, here and there, like smaller, basically from nothing to something type tutorials and stuff. So when I feel more confident about talking through that stuff, I can,
Well, the other thing that reminds me, one thing we're working on 4.5 is, we have that in-editor tutorial system, but we're revamping the crap out of that.
Oh, it's looking great, too.
Yeah, and this means you can build blueprints per project. You can build tutorials in blueprints, and you can build them per projects.
Yep.
So you'll see, like, even all our template games, the first time you create something from scratch, a nice little tutorial explaining, here's the basic structure, here's how you get started. And that'll be great for just making it easier for anybody, including us, to just get in there and write a quick tutorial and make it available for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Behavior tree should be first. Yeah, AI can be complex. I agree. Okay. Do we have time for some more questions? We're doing good?
Yeah, I think we're all right.
All right, new questions. We'll just blankly stare at the screen.
Do it.
Did somebody guess Chance's head size correctly?
I didn't see it. I saw 77,
saw a lot of big numbers up there.
9,000 close.
38.
Yeah.
9,000 is the closest. At least.
All right. Sleepover Saturday. What? I don't know. This couch is not as comfortable as it looks.
Yeah, the lights, too, are really bright and warm. So.
And you have to be on live streaming camera to be on this couch, apparently.
It's pretty much. We have to get a little name for you under there, and that's just a lot of work. Hair.
All right. I think it's...
Well, there's a question here about, now that we have UE4, what will happen to, I assume they're talking about UDK. I mean, UDK, we've essentially sunsetted, right? So, anytime there's a blocking issue, we will definitely release updates. Like the most recent one would have been iOS
like iOS
7.
Every time they put,
because we still know there's some developers out there actively developing projects.
Trying to ship.
Yeah, but there are definitely no plans to add any other features or otherwise move that thing forward. So, where possible, we strongly encourage people to move into UE4.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, and speaking of that, on that point, there's a really great, either one, the guys that shipped the UDK game are on the forums talking about remaking their entire game in UE4 and what the process looks like. So, if there are people that want to make the switch, there's some good resources.
Yeah, there are lots of teams who have done it now.
Yeah, take a look at it and see how easy or complex little pieces it might be. So.
I see Blood Tides asked a couple times, so I just want to acknowledge the question, even if I don't have a great answer yet. Will there be like bulk billing or team-based billing for Unreal? It's definitely something we've talked a lot about, and shouldn't be. I'm not sure that we've committed to it, so I don't want to say, this will definitely happen. But we're very keen. We know it can be a bit cumbersome right now for teams trying to get set up with Unreal, and we're definitely looking and actively discussing how to improve that.
And I saw a question that keeps coming by about merchandise, like specific T-shirts.
People want shirts.
Yeah. So we have T-shirts on order here. We have like a few thousand coming in, and we're going to take a big batch of those and ship them out to the Epic Games Store. It's the Penny Arcade guys who actually run our store for us. So basically, we send them a ton of inventory, and they fulfill it for us. Yeah. So that's kind of how it works, and it'll probably be another month before stuff is actually on the store, like viewable. But if you're able to buy, but we're getting that done just as fast as we can.
We should totally have like a community and design some awesome T-shirts.
Yeah. We.
They are
nice. You're wearing your sunglasses. Ooh.
What?
So
what are you talking about? I can't see them.
It's not at night.
So actually, you should know, guys. So these same sunglasses I ordered in white with the little Unreal Engine logo. Same ones that did the same folks that did the Uber sunglasses for E3. We've got some Unreal Engine braided ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't wear these at night.
It's pretty hard to see.
It is very hard to see, especially when it's pouring down rain and
dodging tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody did ask the weather earlier before we were getting started. It's quite terrible here. It's really damn hot. I think the sun is trying to kill us.
It's been raining a lot.
It's not that hot.
In the thunderstorms.
No,
compared to other places in the world, yes. The Sahara is hotter. Sequencer
answer
question.
That. Yeah.
So should I start with Matinee or wait for Sequencer?
Don't wait.
Yeah, nice. I would say, definitely. Well, most seriously, so we're going to maintain content compatibility between Matinee and Sequencer. So start building with Matinee now, and we will guarantee until we say otherwise. No, but we seriously want to make sure that any content created with Matinee will continue to work in Sequencer, and both of those systems should live side by side until Sequencer is completely at 1.0, and then we'll deprecate support or sunset Matinee. But yeah, there's no reason you can't get started with today, and
Yep.
it's a little bit cumbersome from if you're working with large teams, but you clearly can make some awesome stuff with it. We built all of Infiltrator using Matinee, all the gear
Yep.
cinematics in
Yeah.
Matinee.
Yep.
Yeah, Matinee is still very, very powerful, right?
Yeah.
We just have a better tool coming
We're just
as well.
we're
right?
just excited to make Sequencer
Yeah.
be that much more badass,
Absolutely.
right?
It's similar to the landscape thing we talked about earlier. It's like
Yep.
all the features are there
Yeah.
and usable. We're just adding more new stuff.
And Sequencers, we got a question of when is it coming? It is coming in the future. Yeah.
Yep.
Not
Yeah.
tomorrow. I would say that one is probably on the 6-month timeline. Parts of it, actually, Matt's probably furiously typing right now. He has updated parts of Sequencer already to support the basic animation features of UMG, that we're going
Yeah.
to support there. So there is some part of it in the engine today that is functional. As far as when we say it's coming, like it's reached feature parity with Matinee, I think that's many months out. And honestly, we really haven't even gotten down to revisit what that plan is recently. So, but I would think probably in the next month we can have some more concrete ideas and what our plans are to share there. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Sorry, rendering question cannot help you there.
Yeah. Rendering is whenever things come on the screen.
Sarcasm we can totally help you out with though.
Yeah.
And devishly good looks. Yes, right here.
And extreme abilities to grow beards overnight.
Yes.
Noon o'clock shadow.
I shaved just 10 minutes before the stream. No, just kidding. Clearly. All right, cool.
All right. So
Any more? Or are we
let's-
going to call it?
let's call it.
Okay.
If
Cool.
if you have any other
Oh.
specific
Okay, I will. Cascade to Niagara converter. Any chance on that? I think it's a similar story. Talking to Nick
Yeah.
Pinwarden, that there's no reason content creating Cascade can't easily migrate into Niagara. So
Yeah.
that's our plan right now until we find a reason to change it.
Well, at the same time, too, it's not like we're going to deprecate Cascade, right? Like, we're not taking it out. So if you build
Right.
Maybe
something...
we will someday. We will
Yeah, but,
literally
like, not anytime
take it out
soon.
like in Office Space. Take it out like that terrible printer everybody hates.
Well, sure, but, like, when Niagara exists, it's not just going to be like, okay, that's
No.
gone, here this is.
Yeah,
right?
they will always exist side by side,
Yeah.
until way in the future when
Right.
basically nobody has reason to use Cascade anymore. All right, and
Yep.
sorry, this one keeps going with the Faya audio plugin. I have no idea. I don't.
one?
Which one?
It's asked a few times. The Faya audio plugin.
Faya audio plugin?
I have not heard
Not
it,
sure.
but we
We are working with
yeah,
FBOT.
we'll circle it out.
Actually, I can tell you that much. We'll have more news there soon.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, the Striker riff performance and the hotfix, did the riff performance get better? I know we got the new 0.4.1
Yeah.
in the hotfix, so we'll have to see what that actually
Yes,
does.
yes, it'll definitely be included for 4.5 when that's available, and with the hotfix.
Yeah, it's coming in the
Yeah.
4.4 hotfix. So.
Yeah. Oh man, we've got a crying cat in our. That's it. We're done.
I don't know.
we have failed our community. I apologize.
Oh gosh.
I feel sorry
sorry.
for anyone who goes back and watches this on YouTube because they're going to be like, what are they talking about? Because they can't
Yeah.
see the chat stream.
It's all right. It's okay.
You just have to
It
rely
makes
on
it
our
more entertaining
commentary.
that way. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Recap. So we've got the 4.4.1 hotfix coming out
Yep.
shortly, either later today or tomorrow for the preview, and then if all goes well, it'll be available for everyone next week.
Yep.
Marketplace is not that far off. We're going to PAX next week.
Booth 7505, come see us.
7505. I will be there. Dan will be here.
I'll be there.
Chance will be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Streaming.
By
Streaming.
myself.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, all by yourself for an hour and a half.
I'm just gonna do balloon animals.
I'm sure we'll find some interesting people
Yes.
to put on here.
We'll have-
No, we'll have a good one.
Yeah.
All right,
We got
and
something
then
good planned.
and then after PAX we have EGX in London later in September, right?
Yeah, the 25th or the 28th.
Okay.
We'll have a nice big booth at EGX. It'll be cool.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks very much, everybody, guys. And by the way, the community submissions continue to become even more awesome and impressive.
Yeah.
We are really blown away. We should take a picture of that sometime. We've got this giant 80-inch TV in our office upstairs.
Yeah.
And every other day, like I go through the work in progress, grab a bunch of screenshots just to show. And the people walking by is like, "Oh, what is that? Well, that's awesome." It's like, yeah, people built that in our engine.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's really great to see everybody's reaction as they walk in.
It's truly inspiring, guys. So please keep it up, and please
Yeah.
show us the awesome. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Adios.
next Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks.
All right.
Take care, guys.